So I took a break last week. Probably I was searching for silence in the back, all the background sounds and the firecrackers. And I'm sure many of you resonate to those background sound I'm referring to. It is the sound for celebration, sound for freedom and festivals. Happy Diwali to all Radio Vani listeners and wish many of you the Naya Saal. Welcome back to the 10th episode of Spiritual Mantra. Namaskaram, Swagatam, Suswagatam, Namaste, and hello. You are listening to your whole and soul, Millie, your spiritual mantra narrator and a life coach on elemental energy healing. For past few weeks, I have been narrating different aspects of spiritual understanding. And from past 6 weeks, we have been focusing on single chakras as our focal chakra. And today, our focus is the third eye chakra. My episodes is simplicity in spirituality centric, and I'm trying my best to keep it that way. Today, our focus is the sixth chakra, also known as the third eye chakra or the ajna. Before we go ahead, allow me to cover the seven chakras on the whole. As I have visited earlier, there are seven subtle wheel systems interconnected to each other as specified locations in each of us. These systems, or the energy centers, or the sea of chi, or Dantian, loosely defined as the elixir field, finally also called as the seven chakras. The order of the seven chakra goes something like this, with the first being the root chakra, also known as the Mooladhara, second being the sacral chakra, which is known as the Swadhisthana, and then comes your solar plexus chakra, known as the Manipura, and is also on the third position. Manipura is centrally placed between the lower matter and the higher spirit chakras, working as a password driven gateway to reach the higher chakras, followed by the heart chakra or the fourth chakra known as the Anahata, which also means unstruck. And the last zone consists of the three higher consciousness chakras, starting with throat chakra on the fifth position and is also known as the Vishuddha, which also means purification. Then comes the third eye chakra on the sixth location called the Ajna, also our focal chakra today. And the last or the seventh and the final prime chakra is the crown chakra, which we will be covering next week and is also known as the Sahasrara. After repeatedly revisiting the basic placement and the metaphysical importance of each of them, I would now like to bring your attention back to the focal chakra known as the third eye chakra or the Ajna. In Sanskrit, it also means to perceive or to command, and sometimes it's also a synonym word for authority. This is also the power chakra of people belonging to the zodiac of Sagittarius and Pisces. The main coordinating color of Ajna or the third eye chakra is indigo. The symbol of this chakra is a two-petal lotus-like wings on either side of a circle. Within the circle is the downward pointing triangle. The petal symbolizes to the two eyes on each side of the third eye. The two sides of the brain working in harmony or wings transcending physical limitations and the two world of reality, which is manifest and unmanifest. The non-physical nature of chakra is represented by light. In the physical sense of the light hits the eyes and is translated to images. In the realms of esoteric, intuition is like a light coming on in the brain and may be accompanied by an internal image. This is also called as visions. These are our eureka moments. Thus, people with this chakra as their power chakra are supposed to be higher in terms of consciousness and achievements. The element that is connected to the third eye chakra is light and the telepathic energy. Although Sagittarius people are the fire element and Pisces people are water. So, as per the zodiac signs, they must focus on the third eye chakra, but also they should focus on solar plexus and sacral chakra respectively. The penultimate chakra on our journey is through the sevenfold chakra system is Ajna, offering us the ability to intuit things for which we have no concrete evidence. In everyday life, we talk about hunches when we know things we cannot rationalize. Often we choose to be blind to the potential illuminated by a third eye, thus, many of us generally end up taking wrong decisions. Location of this chakra or the IP address is the center of the base of the skull and between the two eyebrows, making the third eye chakra as one of the higher centers associated with intuition, the power to control and perceive, and also to know. It allows us to tap into the limitless knowledge which you can access directly in order to answer the questions you tend to look to others. They may be mentors, gurus, therapists, astrologers, or psychics to satisfy. But I don't mean that you replace expert advice as and when needed. Simultaneously, it won't harm you to strengthen your core. Location of this chakra or the IP address is the center of the base of the skull and between the two eyebrows, making third eye chakra as one of the higher centers associated with intuition, the power to control, perceive, and to know. It also allows you to tap into limitless knowledge, which you can access directly in order to answer the questions you tend to look to others. They may be your mentors, gurus, therapists, astrologers, or psychics. But by this, I don't mean you replace expert advice as and when needed. But simultaneously, it won't harm you if you strengthen your core too. Thus, making this again very important for all of you as listeners, irrespective if it is your power chakra or not, you must focus on balancing all your seven chakras with prime focus to your power chakra for personal performance enhancement. In addition, this chakra is associated to the sixth sense. To further amplify this effect of intuition is to give you an example of being in a situation where your gut feeling said otherwise to your actions, and you realize you're wrong immediately after the repercussions of your action is taken. So I'll repeat this again. This is a chakra that is associated with your sixth sense. And if I want to amplify this, let me help you imagine a situation in any situation you have ever been before is the effect of your intuition, and your intuition would have told you to go against a decision or against an action which you would be taking or which you would have actually taken, and then you wouldn't have actually listened to your intuition and gone ahead against your intuition and taken that action, and would have realized in immediately or in the future that decision was wrong. So sometimes when you practice focusing on your third eye chakra, your intuition actually ends up giving you almost close to right and accurate answers to something that your mind cannot contemplate. So that was the example. So how do you know when does your chakra needs balancing and when is it too open or blocked? There are some typical dysfunctional characteristics to decode too open, blocked, or a balanced chakra terms. The observation of certain characteristic pivot towards the indicative state of chakras, and in this case today it is the third eye chakra. An excessive or too open chakra is when the chakra spins too fast. The characteristic behavior mainly are highly logical, dogmatic, authoritarian, and arrogant. Blocked chakra spins sluggishly or not at all. People with blocked chakra, third eye chakra normally exhibit undisciplined characteristic, fear success. They have tendencies to many mental disorders, and they set their sights too low. People with balanced third eye chakra, maintain equilibrium and spins at correct vibrational speed, which also means that they are charismatic, highly intuitive, not attached to material things, and may experience unusual phenomena now and again. The question is, how does one balance any or all of their chakras? There are many ways to do that, and I will visit most of it before I leave today. As our focus is the third eye chakra, also referred to many as the seat of the soul or the ajna, which means to perceive or to control. Its associated sense is the sixth sense, making it very important to pay attention to your gut feeling or the vibes about the right and the wrong. Give weightage to your decisions and reconsider and deliberate your plans over and over again till you're close to the certainty of taking the right action. Deciphering universal messages will also help to a considerable amount. Meditation helps a lot for third eye chakra balancing, and the state of nothingness is also an exercise for activating the third eye. When I say nothingness, it literally means as the state of nothingness. The simple biological exercise to this is you can maybe sit in one of your most favorite rooms looking out of the window where you can see a nice scenic background, or your backyard which is visited by deers or by animals or pretty birds or anything, or you have good plants there. You can actually focus on something prettier outside in nature and think nothing, do nothing. It's an exercise for third eye. It activates your intuition, it activates your third eye. Try. Of course, my most favorite way to balance chakras has always been via burning the aromatic oils, and by now many of you know this. So the aromatic oils for third eye chakra are lavender, rose, frankincense, and violet. The most popular way to balance, in the other most popular way actually to balance, is to wear the crystal related to this chakra, and those crystals are for the third eye are turquoise, lapis lazuli, aquamarine, labradorite, red tiger eyes, sodalite, amsonite, and blue sapphire. Mainly the blue sapphire, as sapphire comes in many gradients and colors, which I have also told you for the last chakra that we covered, that was the throat chakra. There are two not very popular but practiced by only a few regularly, is asking questions and saying affirmations in order to balance the chakras. Some of you here who are listening would know or would have also practiced saying affirmations every day and still do that. I would encourage you to continue to do that. Affirmations is a mind conditioning exercise. A repetitive positive affirmation is also a message you're giving to your universe for a healthy, holistic, and a positive lifestyle. And when your lifestyle is positive, your aura is positive, you attract positive, you attract prosperity, you attract health and wellness. And I think at the end of the day, we all actually really only want that. So, coming back to the two popular practices is saying affirmations or asking question. So I would start with the relative questions that you need to ask yourself every day, focusing on the third eye chakra. So let's list the following questions that you need to ask yourself each day relevant to third eye chakra. Mind you, the phrase can change, so you don't have to say the exact same question that I'm going to read out now. The phrase can change, but the gist should always remain. So this is how it goes. How much silence is there in your life for the whispers of intuition to be heard? This is a question, and the solution: spend time in silence, focus on something beautiful, and be still and silent. The second question is: when did you last act on an intuition? Go with any compelling thoughts without rationalization. Be alert to coincidences and experiences that may contain messages. Now, to this question, I have a very relevant example to give you, and this is straight out of my experience. So I will make it very, very brief, but I will, without trying to take the focus away from the topic, I will repeat the question. The question is: when did you last act on your intuition? I remember acting on my intuition many times after that episode, but it did help. So this is how the story goes. I normally had earlier. I don't anymore. I used to regularly go to my gym, and between my home and my gym, the travel did have did have area which was a small stretch of forest, and it was pretty isolated without any street light. But obviously, I used to be in the car driving from my home to the gym, and that area used to always be there. In the daytime, it was very pretty because I love to look into the woods. In the nighttime, it was equally scary. So, but I still took that path because I just love the forest. So I was driving, and I was heading towards the gym, and I saw a car in between on the road, and I saw many people while I was passing, and somebody seemed to ask for help. And it's not always advisable to be foolishly generous and kind, because it could also call for trouble, especially in areas which are isolated. But something inside me did tell me that probably these people really need help. So I passed them. I did not stop. Without stopping, I slowed down and I looked into my rearview mirror, and I saw shadows of two very small kids running around in the background. They were running back and forth, crossing the road towards the forest and back to their car, crossing the road towards the forest and back to their car. So then I halted, and I realized that this was a family that needed a help, right? Because I did see small kids running around. So I started backing up, and I came in line of the car, and I asked the person, I got my window down, still kept my car locked, and asked the person, what kind of help does he require? And he said, I'm stranded, I have a flat tire, and I do not have a Stephanie a kit. I mean, it's a toolkit that you keep in your car for repairing your punctures, your flat tires. So fortunately, I peeped into his car, and I saw his wife was there, and I did take considerable amount of risk, but I felt, and my intuition said that they needed help, and it was the right decision. I did take a little bit of a risk. I wouldn't suggest that always you must take that risk, but sometimes your intuition makes you do the right things, not sometimes, every time. So this time I was very proud of that moment, and I am glad that I took that decision. And again, he after the whole the problem was resolved, he did tell me one thing which again spoke about intuition. He worked for a home improvement store here in US, and he worked for Lowe's. And that morning he was thinking that on his way back home he should get this toolkit and keep in his car, because he has been thinking from a long time that he doesn't have it. What if they have a flat tire one day? And the same evening he had a flat tire, and he told me I should have listened to what my heart was saying. And so we both experienced the same thing on the same day. So since then, I have practiced a lot to listen to my intuition. Not always I'm 100% right, but it has considerably helped me. So I go back to the question. The question was, do you truly, when did you last act on your intuition? Go with any compelling thoughts without rationalization. Be alert to coincidences and experiences that may contain messages. So, the next question: do you truly see what is around you? Exercise your physical perception by being alert to details such as shapes and colors. As a matter of fact, even people's expressions. So this is an exercise of mindfulness, and also it really helps when you're very mindful about what you're putting in your mouth. Like you're strolling around in the kitchen and you just put your hands into some snacks which probably may not be always good for you. So you have to be mindful. It is a very good exercise. So practice that. Do you look outside yourself for answers? So in this case, list personal queries such as why a certain person has come into your life, why are you facing certain situations, why do you love mountains more than seashores, and many such personal questions of your being. All I need to say that if I wouldn't have asked this question again and again, straight out of my experience, if I were not to ask this question to myself, I probably would not be doing this show today. Or I probably would not be healing people, and probably would never have started my own business in the holistic and spiritual living. So do ask this question. Do you look outside yourself for answers? Definitely practice these these few things for activating your third eye chakra. These questions are essential. Now we come back to the affirmations, and the affirmations are as follows. And for those who do not know affirmation, these are practices of telling or saying certain positive statements related to that particular chakra every day, either before sleeping or when you wake up, looking at yourself in the mirror and reminding yourself silently or saying it loud. It doesn't matter however you want to practice this, but say your affirmations every day. So, affirmations for the third eye chakra are: I recognize the need for silence and stillness in my life. The answers to all my questions lie within me. I trust my inner self to guide and protect me. I trust my feelings. I have nothing to prove. I am the divine plan manifesting itself. I'm full of wisdom and I'm open to new wisdom. I trust my imagination will create a world of happiness and security for me. Imagination is the lifeblood of my creativity. I choose to accept myself and others exactly as we are. Making mistakes helps me learn, grow, and develop. So, with the affirmation saying practice, you can certainly start shaping your mind to think more efficiently and achieve higher performance ratio. Make it a practice to have the color indigo as much as possible around as in your altar where you meditate. In order to know specifics on mudra and the mantra of the seventh chakra, please feel free to write to me. There are mainly 7 ways you can balance your chakras, which are archetypes, altars, interconnecting wheels, physical exercises, crystal healing, meditation, and affirmations. Now, when I say that a particular chakra is a power chakra of certain zodiac, it does not mean that only those people have to or need to balance those chakras. The idea is to balance all your chakras at all point of time. Focusing on your power chakra gives you a head start to a discipline which in a transitional way helps them to master and move chakra after chakra till you reach the ultimate point of consciousness. To balance chakras, there are other terms like archetypes and altars. Archetypes are the universal themes or the models of human condition. They provide us, the healers, to understand the emotional experiences, both what you are and what you want to be. There are both functional and dysfunctional archetypes, and both are instrumental and valuable to spiritual growth. They help us identify the concern areas and help to formulate the combination for the perfect remedy as a healer. Altars, on the other hand, is an aesthetic setup of the chakra related to attributes and items like colored fabric, books, singing bowls, specific aromatherapy, and more. In order to know more about chakra balancing through meditation, prana practice, Reiki, crystal healing, and aromatherapy, please write to me or message me on my WhatsApp number, which is 173297966156, or email me on shrishtihealing@gmail.com, which is spelled as SHRISHTIHEALING@gmail.com. This will mark the end of today's session, but before I leave, let me give you a small recap. We covered the power chakra of the Sagittarius and the Pisces, which apparently is the third eye chakra located at the sixth position of our human subtle chakra system. The core color is indigo and is also called as the Ajna, which means control. We covered various ways to understand the level of blockages and balancing techniques with their corresponding dysfunctions. My emphasis still remains that focusing on power chakra does not mean you're balancing all your chakras. Thus, practicing balancing all your chakras with prime focus on your power chakra is the way to go. This is an inside out approach. I would like to take your leave now and hope everyone will learn the important key today: indulgence in silence. Till I meet all of you next week, stay safe, stay sound, and sometimes stay silent. Indulge, focus, increase your concentration, and meditate. Goodbye and namaste.